Hey guys, it's Adrian. These are the general guidelines for self-myofascial release work. I'm going to be covering 7 what I feel is very important points, things that I've noticed in myself. I've been using foam rolling and other types of myofascial release for about 4 years now. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about some hazards, things to watch out for. I am quite experienced with my body and with the entire process of using different foam rollers and stuff like that. When people are starting out, I think we tend to go, hey, I should be doing that, and that's really cool, so I'm going to go buy the best tools on the market and I'm going to just jump right into it. But this is not the type of thing you just jump right into. So I want to give some cautions there. First and foremost, I think the most important thing is you're not going to take a hammer to try to take a screw and put it into a wall. Okay? You're going to take a screwdriver into the screw and screw it into the wall. I'm not going to hammer something into the wall using a screw. I'd use a nail. So, point being, use the right tool for the job. Now, there's a whole series of videos, okay, where I'm talking about different body parts for different reasons. So I have a self-myofascial release warm-up sequence for the legs, where I'm using a different tool such as the stick. I'm going to show you a recovery method where we're using more of the foam rollers. So depending on the job, depending on the body part, there is a best tool for everything. If you go check out the blog, the address will be below in the description. I give a product review of what's out on the market right now as to what I feel is best for what purpose, and if a person was going to go and buy one and only one tool, what would that tool be? Okay, so go check that out. Again, it'll be in the description below. So let's get started. As far as choosing the right tool, I'm going to show you a few different tools on the market. Generally speaking, it all started with foam rollers. Okay, this is a blue foam roller, so this actually isn't even the softest on the market. They make ones that are white. If a person has never touched a foam roller in their life, it might be worth the investment. They're fairly cheap, somewhere between 10 and 20 bucks. Go buy a white foam roller. Okay? You want to experience it from the most gentle way possible. By all means, you are going to burn through your foam roller in no time because they are closed cell and they will pop. Okay, so think about bubble wrap. Put enough pressure on it, you're going to start popping bubbles. So I've had this one for maybe 3 months. I don't use it that often, but already the center is a lot softer than the outside. Okay, so start with a white foam roller, or at the least, start with a blue one if you're going to start there. Don't jump into some of the more fancy rollers on the market. Okay, you got the travel roller. This is probably one of my favorite ones. Again, go check the reviews on their products as far as figuring out which one you're going to make the best purchase. I prefer the travel roller. Trigger Point Company makes one called the Grid. This is unique. It's got some raised bumps. So if I'm trying to target a specific area, it helps me dig a little bit better into it. There is quite a density change between the two, and I'm going to be comparing that in a different review. But anyway, the Grid is a good foam roller. I've quite enjoyed the use of that one as well. For us self-myofascial release connoisseurs, okay, or this crazy enough, there's something called the rumble roller. Now this pretty much looks like a meat tenderizer, sometimes feels like a meat tenderizer. Okay, I do not suggest, I don't care how good of a product this is, there shouldn't be a single person on the planet that starts at the rumble roller. Okay, this is for somebody who's been doing it for quite some time, knows their body, knows where their trigger points are, and knows how to use this kind of properly. When I am finishing a very tough workout, or I'm sore from a previous day's workout, if I'm too sore, sometimes I can't use the rumble roller. Okay, it has a purpose. Now, there's other products. There's one called the Stick, or sometimes there's another one called the Tiger Tail. This one's incredibly effective for things like the hamstrings, which foam rollers are never really great at. You're going to find products like this. There's ones called the Theracane. This one's called the Back Knobber. It's got these little plastic knobs that allow me to get into my back and dig away. It feels pretty good. It's also generally way overpriced for what it is. And then enters every type of ball, as you can imagine. I have a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, a golf ball, a softball. The trigger point, or the travel roller, sorry, when you buy the travel roller, it comes with 3 acupressure balls. These are awesome. They come in different densities, okay? So this one is similar to a hockey ball, this one's similar to a tennis ball, and this one's similar to a lacrosse ball. Go check the blog go check the blog and the video where I'm talking about 2 taped up tennis balls. This has got to be the cheapest massage of your life. Okay? It's a killer for opening up especially thoracic spine, so go check that out. So again, I have tons of tools. I'm a self-myofascial release junkie, I will totally admit that. But you have to learn what the right tools are for the job. So that's step one. Okay. Step two, never go too hard. Okay? I am not going to take this onto my sorest muscles and breakdowns all over it. Okay? You have to understand that self-myofascial release is about getting a muscle to relax or reset back into a position because it's too wound up. Okay, now we can talk scientific and how that happens, but I don't think it's important. I think it's important to know we have something that is too tight, too wound up, is losing function, and can actually create scar tissue in the long term. And you need to find a way to create it back into its regular position. So I call it resetting. It's called 100 different things. It's not really a release of anything, so it's an improper term as far as that goes. But first and foremost, never go too hard. You're not trying to bruise the tissue. You have to understand if you cannot relax around it and breathe, it will not let go. It will not reset back to its proper position. You need to learn how to not flex a muscle when I'm doing it. So, prime example, if I take this foam roller, I put it into my lats, I am better with my palms up. Okay? Now this will all be described in the other videos where I'm talking about how to roll a certain area and for what reasons. But prime example is if I'm rolling these lats and I have my palm up, it's pretty tough for me to flex a lat. If I'm palm down and I've lifted my whole body and I'm like, oh, that's really sore, that's really sore, that's really sore, I'm most likely flexing down into my lat and I'm not going to get in there. So again, don't go too hard. For areas that are really, really, really bad, okay, or you find that they will not give, they will not let go. Prime example of that, for about 2 years I had a knot in my back, okay, in this area. I would take balls to it, trigger, everything. You name it, every tool that I own I would take to my back and I would try to get it to release on my own. But it wouldn't, it would feel better, it would inflame, it would feel better, it would inflame, it would feel better, it would inflame, it never went away. The point is that when you have something or a trigger point that is not going away or it's not resetting itself, you need to seek a qualified therapist who can help to explain the reason why. Now that could be a good strength and conditioning coach, a good personal trainer who understands all that, could be a kinesiologist, chiropractor with active release technique therapy, you can go massage therapy, physical therapy, go to somebody who's qualified to tell you the reason why. So for me, the reason why this knot is because I was having the complete opposite side of the body, which is pretty common. Pec minor for me was too tight. I'm a side sleeper, I'm internally rotated, and generally speaking, when I get stressed out, I go tight in the chest. So all of that was equating into some internal rotation and pulling away of the shoulder, which was leaving me with knots in my back. So it's something that I'm having a chiropractor, active release therapist, I've had physical therapists, everybody to help me understand what the actual problem was and not the symptom. So don't go too hard, don't go too crazy. If something isn't going away or getting better, go see somebody who can help you. Okay, next thing I want to address, tripoding. By far the most important thing. I'm not going to take this rumble roller, okay? Now I can handle the pressure of this, I've worked up to it, it actually feels good when I go to it. But, that said, I am not going to take something this crazy, start on my hip, and on my T-band, which anybody who's done self-myofascial release knows that's not fun. And I'm not going to start rolling away and just going crazy. Even there, I was splayed out. I had my arms taking off pressure, I had my other foot taking off pressure. The point is that you need to learn how to position yourself so that, again, I'm not going too hard on myself. So even if I can handle the rumble roller, I wouldn't suggest it for most people. I have quite a bit of my weight in my arm, I have quite a bit of my weight on my other foot, and I'm going to keep walking up. So I have the least amount of pressure that I need to get the job done. If for whatever reason I think I can't take that much, I might come down here and just relax and chill out, okay? I'm going to scan, find a different area, that kind of thing. I am taking a lot of pressure off. Learn to tripod, okay? Most important thing. Next, the actual process of self-myofascial release or resetting the body, especially for a recovery standpoint. In my opinion, there's a million ways to name it and whatever else. So here's what I'm doing. Here's how we name it. I'd say you need to scan the area. Okay, so let's talk about lats. I'm going to put this into my lat. Okay? Again, palms up is better than palms down. You're going to find that all in the videos anyway. So if I'm rolling this area, again, so right now I have my calf lifting my hip, taking most of that pressure off. I could take some of it with my foot, I could take some of it with my hand, I could even lift onto the roller. So that's tripod. Now I'm going to scan the area. So again, I'm not, crazy buck wild speed. I'm just slowly scanning and feeling it out. Okay, I can try different angles with my body. I could turn more palms down. I can lay back a little bit. I'm going to fully roll around and find areas. Now, when I find an area or a trigger point that is tender, I'm going to identify it. What's the size of it? Is it worse when I roll side to side? Where is it in my body? And if you have any kind of anatomy understanding, you're trying to identify what actual muscle it is. Okay? Otherwise, I'm just trying to identify if it hurts more when I'm rolling vertically or if I'm rolling side to side. Okay, so I'm identifying the trigger point. The next thing I'm going to do, I just call it digging. Okay, it sounds aggressive, and that's sort of what you're doing. Other people call it fancy names. I just call it digging. Once I've identified the line of that muscle, I'm just going to take it and do little bits of rolling. It may be a 1-inch gap. And the next most important thing is I need to be able to breathe and relax. If I can't relax, if I'm flexed and tensed, this is not going to reset. Okay? Now once I've done that, it's a good idea to mobilize. Okay? And all that means is I'm just going to move around. So once I'm on that trigger point, as long, again, that it's not too hard, I'm going to roll it around, okay, and move that around. I may also come off the roller and start moving my lat, okay, in that way. So it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good to reset that muscle. So, mobilize. Now, one thing that, for areas that are extremely, extremely tense, so again, my chest, talking about my chest, I may take something like a medicine ball. The other video that you're going to see for the chest, you're going to see me actually using a softball. Okay, I'm up on the wall and I'm rolling against the wall like this. That's more for recovery reasons. When you see me doing chest and biceps on the medicine ball, I'm down here and I'm rolling up. Okay, go check out those videos for more info. But the point is that if I have an area that is just commonly trigger point built, what I need to do is not go at it for 3 hours at a time. I need to go at it for maybe 2 or 3 or 5 minutes, but come back to it 2, 3, 4, 8 times a day. Okay? Think frequency, not hardcore intensity. Especially for areas that you're just starting out with all of this stuff, you don't want to be doing it to the point where you're bruising yourself, okay, which is possible. So, let's cover that whole list again. We're going to go choosing the right tool. I have a million tools. Go check out the blog and you can pick which one is best for you. Go check out the other videos where I explain which tool to use on which body part, okay, and some alternatives. Tripod. Learn to be taking weight off of yourself to roll an area. If doing this and working my piriformis and my glutes is okay, then I can try to take more pressure. Now I only have 2 points of contact instead of 3. So now I've got more pressure. Okay? I could come back on here, and I could also stretch the piriformis. So changing angles, changing directions, and taking points of contact off the floor will give you more pressure. But again, don't go too hard. Now, for areas that are commonly tense or tight or really just all the time, never let go, you have 2 options. You either approach them more frequently, but for a shorter duration. Okay, so dig at them 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, whatever. If they are not improving over, say, 3 to 4 to a month's time, okay, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to a month's time, you need to go see somebody else who can explain to you the functional or positional or postural reasons as to why that trigger point is there in the first place. This whole process is about understanding your body, getting to be where you want it to be and feel how you want it to feel. But if you don't know enough about your body, you need to have a qualified professional get in there and explain how to do that. So, any questions, guys, just leave it. Go check the rest of the videos in the series, and definitely go check the blog that's in the description below.